Good morning, good morning. Today we're going to be taking a Sunday look at XRP and the Sigma coin. So far, this new 3-day candle showed up yesterday. We're still green. We have a little bit of a curve up action here on this one. And this guy is purple, telling us that we may have a problem kind of underneath the hood, but it's with the potential bullish divergence, because note that this momentum was much lower than this, yet price has come back down again. So on much higher momentum, we actually had our impulse. So this is a bullish divergence forming. This is starting to turn back up, and we're still green on this one. So this next 3 days or so is going to have a lot of work to do to maintain the green candle here and get us moving back up into this range. So zooming into what we're kind of doing here. Right now, the count that I have going on for XRP is that we're kind of working through a potential wave 3, 4, and 5 right here. And so far, we've been holding continual higher lows. So each of these moves have been a higher low structure that have kind of come into play with a little ABC right here. That's where this kind of came down, wicked up, and back down again. So far, if this is in fact our impulse that we could possibly see on the shorter time frames, where we actually come off the lows right here for this impulsive move, this would be then a larger ABC completion, back testing now the outside of this wedge that was resistance this whole way down, and now we popped above it, built support, and we're just kind of testing this wedge break right here continually. So if in fact this continues, we actually see a good breakout to the upside, that'd be wonderful. If not, if we start getting down to this $1.84 region, definitely massive supply over here on the left should be a support area, but we would start being concerned that maybe we're not going to make it at least to the upside first, and then we would swing lower and then move back out again. So we'll continue to watch how this plays, but so far this wedge pattern that we're forming here has been pretty persistent and a long way coming. So it's just been trending this entire time. We have this massive wedge. We got outside of this wedge, and now we're just waiting. Now we're just waiting for the resolution of said wedge to kind of work itself out, and whether or not we're above the wedge or below the wedge is up to you to decide. People will draw these, and it could be from right there, or it could be over here. Just regardless, we know that we're in a structure that's kind of working its way, either back testing or breaking out. So we'll have to just see how that plays. So now the liquidity that we're ultimately working for is kind of on both sides still. So here's your 24 liquidity. We do have a sweep lower down to 88, 87. Maybe even 80, possibly lower, but not much, at least on the 24-hour. And liquidity stacking up above. So, it could be a sweep of the lows, which would ultimately get the longs gone. And then we come back and we close out the shorts. So that would be a great breakout potential for everything. And then finally, Sigma coin has had our rising wedge for a 5-way move to the upside. And now we've done an ABC correction to the downside with a bull flag. So we've got a nice little bull flag forming here. So if we can maintain this higher low for the Sigma coin, then we should be able to begin our next leg higher for everything, which would be potentially beneficial for XRP. So we had this run up till January 17th on Sigma, and if we go back to XRP, January 6th was where that happened, and into the retrace in this whole region is we actually had strength show up in Sigma coin, whereas XRP was continuing its move to the downside. So Sigma has been able to hold all this despite XRP's pullback now from the highs of upwards of a 22% pullback. So we will just continue to monitor and see what we can do here, but the hope would be that we have either found outside support on this wedge, and we are now in fact working to build the support and break back up and start testing this mid region, get back up to the 205 zone. So we'll just have to wait and watch. But so far, 3-day indicator is still on our side. So we will check in.